You guys are here to have a little nosy as to what I've done in my Hobonichi Avec. So let's get into it, shall we? If you want to see how I set this up, I'll leave a link in the description for that one, as well as up in the cards as well, somewhere up there. So yeah, if you did watch the setup video, some of this will be quite familiar to you. I did have a flip out key legend for different things. These have now changed purely because I've lost the stencil that creates those. I need to order another one. Everything's pretty much the same. That's pretty much stayed the same apart from some new information for 24. And then my index has obviously been filled up quite a bit. I really like this system. I mean, it's small and condensed, which I thought would annoy me, but it actually doesn't. So I'm actually quite enjoying that. And then I've got my trackers as well that I was also using. I was tracking taking my vitamins, drinking no soda, walking, making sure I drink water, quite a bit of water, arting, which is basically practicing either gouache or pastel or something, just taking the time out to practice with the materials and getting basically bettering my skills. Well, what skills I do have. And then expense or no spending, getting 7+ hours sleep, keeping to my morning routine, reading and Hobonichiing every day, because the intention was to keep on top with the daily pages. And then the black squiggly lines is basically how my mood has been, so obviously up and down, highs and lows. And then we get on to the monthly pages, which I'll just take this off because it's just keeping my place for the current month. So I did, because I got the Avec quite late, I think I got it like July time, so I did like a back one, or did I get it mid-June? Something like that, but that's pretty much basic how it's going to turn out. Then there was July, which I did use quite a bit and used it for to-do list. Then August sort of dropped off a bit because I was traveling a lot as well, so I knew pretty much where I was going to be and what I was doing. Then September got a little bit busy, and then I started playing around with some decorative items. October, yeah, September, October, yeah. So again, started to use it a bit more proactively. And then November again, this is currently, yeah, we just finished November, so yeah, been using that as well. And then I've already decorated it for Christmas because I found some stickers from, a lovely girl in Canada, I think, or is she in the States? Seattle area, I think. So yeah, States, not Canada. I'll leave a link. No, I won't leave a link. I'll leave her name, her @ up there. I've forgotten her name. She's a lovely girl. Anyway. And then obviously the 2024 calendar is blank. Well, not blank, just a little bit, because I've not yet quite started getting planning that far ahead, apart from the fact I know I'm going to be in Glasgow for quite a bit of it. Then I did a weekly setup of how I was intending to use it, but that did not keep at all. It really did fall to the wayside very quickly with the weeklies. I have not filled them up at all. I've actually been looking online to see, because I mean this original setup would have been great if I am not a planner person. I've realised this. I'm not someone that can literally sit down and plan my day out or my week out or my month out. I've got like big events and deadlines that I need to get done, but I don't, I mean, I can do it, but I don't stick to it. So for me, it's like a waste of time and energy. So that's what I found challenging with filling in the weeklies, because I just haven't done it. So yeah, I've learned that about me. So if anyone out there has any ideas of what I can use these weekly spreads for, please let me know. I know a lot of people use it for to-do lists and stuff like that, which might be a possibility. You know, they don't have to be aesthetic or anything like that, but I would much rather them be functional than leaving them empty, because it's kind of sad that they're all empty. So moving on, we get to the turning the page, which was empty, but obviously I filled it up. So I put the first quarter of 2023 memories in there, because this is the second half. This is July and December part of the Avec system. Put the key in there. And then what I was going into 2024, which I'm still working on. I've not even, I keep thinking about Patreon, and I keep thinking, oh, I can do this, but I've not physically done anything for it yet. I have been working on my animation, and I have been working on the Book Nook Spirit channel, which is my booktube channel. Again, there's a link in the description for that if you're interested to hear my thoughts on books that I read or collect. Then there's video ideas, which I don't want to really, because there's still a lot on there that I haven't done. Then this is basically just a monthly cover for July, but it was actually more memories and just little things that I liked that I've stuck on there. And then we go into the daily pages, which I'm surprised I've actually filled in as much as what I have, because I am a girl that has gone from using the Archer and Olive notebooks to create my own bullet journals, which I love doing, but I didn't find that I used them as much, and I found that they were becoming too much work. So it's interesting that I've gone from Archer and Olive super thick, lovely, luxurious paper to super skinny paper. Still luxurious paper, but just super thin. So it's interesting that I've gone from one to the other. So yeah, I went from creating my own bullet journal spreads to essentially doing nothing, which is why I ended up getting a Hobonichi system, because I needed something, but just not something that was quite as structured and rigid as creating my own bullet journal, even though that could have been so flexible if I'd done it that way. So it's just a lot of pros and cons with that system. I do have a why I quit bullet journaling video. Again, I'll leave in the description below if you want to go see that. Yeah, so I'm not going to go over that again. So yeah, I was pretty good at keeping up with my dailies. Let me actually just quickly tell you like what I've been filling it in. So this one was like just YouTube ideas, my notes that I want to write down, talk to you about. This was for the Senelli oil pastel video, which I filmed, but it got corrupted in the camera, so therefore I've not yet done it, so I need to refilm it. Whole big debacle with my camera at the moment. Hopefully this is recording and there's no issues. But yeah, that was that. Then this is a tracery colour swatch thing, that project that I'm doing for Karen Dash. Well, not for Karen Dash, but with... They've not hired me, I'm just doing it. That's what I'm doing. It's just an idea I've had for something. So that's my ideas on that. So you'll probably see bits of that project coming up. My logo rebrand, I will be rebranding in the new year, from ArchiWorks to Studio Spirit, because it's... When I've spoke to people about ArchiWorks, they immediately think, oh, architecture projects and this, that and the other. They don't think of it in an art sort of way. So I wanted to move away from that and move away from that confusion. And Studio Spirit is a little bit more broad, because I'm Spirit and this is my studio. So it sort of encompasses everything within the studio, as opposed to just my architecture work or just the illustrations that are produced from the architecture work. So yeah, there will be a rebrand that... So I was working on that and ideas and things for that. Again, the same there. And then here was just some personal notes, because Nintendo released a Sonic Origins game, which has basically got all of the Sonic games from the beginning, basically, of the whole Sonic saga. And they finally released the Sonic game that I remember playing that was on the Sega Master System too. So I was really buzzed about that and excited. So I had to do a little spread about that. So yeah. Then about the Sminky Vintage set and how I'd use the colours and what I might be doing with that. And then also I'm trying to create my own urban palette for gouache. I know I've got watercolours here, but I was sort of like looking at what other people's have done and sort of like saying, oh, that colour would be useful, or this, that and the other, or I'll mix my own. So I'm currently looking into that. I want to make it a gouache stay wet palette as well. And then I didn't do anything for a good while. So we're still in August here. No, July, sorry. July. Then I did a piece about Buffy books because I found where all my Buffy books were. And then an idea that I want to do with the library. Again, there'll be more on that on the Book Nook channel. So if you're interested in Buffy books, head on there. I've not done anything yet, but in the new year I definitely will be. Then this is just about the Art Nouveau Karataki gouache set. Well, gouache watercolour set, Japanese watercolours. Again, I did a video on, I think I unboxed it and then I swatched it. But then I've got another video coming up, which is about how I've made this swatch book. And this is all the colour swatches for that set as well. But also how I'm using that paint as well, because it's really interesting paint. So I just wanted to have a swatch in here, but also I was matching my pastel pencils to the same thing, and I'll probably also try and match some other media as well with those colours because I really like that palette. And the paints worked quite well on this paper as well. It does crinkle it, but with the Hobonichi closing in on itself, it flattens itself. So that's really useful. So I used a few pages for that. And then I was going to write about it there, which I have not yet done. Yeah, so that's the swatch sheet that I made with that video. Here I was just thinking ahead about what books I wanted to have in my horror list for the Book Nook channel. Then here I was talking about the base that I did for Halloween, which is now up on my channel. So you can go ahead and look at that. Then I was going to talk here about some prints that I was working on in my printing machine that I got. Again, I've not gone and filled it in. Left that blank. And then this is just about some Art Nouveau poster ideas that I'm working on. So again, project ideas, left blank. And then what worked and what didn't work. Sort of like July in review. So yeah, that was July. So I did fill quite a bit in, because if you look at the index, that's the easiest way to see how much I filled in. There was quite a bit that was filled in, and then a bit that was blank. So I didn't do too bad. August, I didn't even bother with the cover. I went in about a traveler's notebook that I'm thinking about toying with. So I'll talk about that a little bit more towards the end of this video. So, well, after I've gone through the usage of my book. Then, yep, again, how many pages I'll need for what I'm thinking of doing. Then this was a Pressing Matters print challenge that I started then. And then this was kind of the mock-up that I was going to do for it. But because of the time limit on the thing and the amount of layers I'd need for my tartan, I just ended up running out of time, so I didn't actually finish this project, but I might do in the near future because I quite like it. That was about a river art market that I went to in York. And then some more. These are just rub-on stickers, by the way. I really love rub-on stickers. I want to create my own because I think they're so much nicer than stickers that you stick on. And they don't bulk up your planner as well, which is fantastic. But again, I left these pages quite blank because I was just either working or traveling or whatnot, or just didn't feel like doing it, which sometimes I don't, or I feel like I have nothing to talk about. Here's this colour swatches for these Flexitron. Is it by Uniball? Oh no, Pilot. for these, because I quite like these, because I was originally using the Emmet fine liners, which they're fine, they work wonderfully in the Hobonichi. It's just I was getting a little annoyed with them. I originally swatched them out towards the back. Hang on. Yeah, so in the setup video I swatched them all out here so you could see them, but I found them cumbersome because you have to give them a few seconds to dry, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but with the way I work it is. So they smudge quite a bit, and also if you can see, the ink sort of gathers up in particular areas, and with me being quite heavy-handed, it was just starting to look like a mess and I didn't like it. So this is when I sort of switched to the Fixatrons. I also have this Fixatron pen, which this is a 0.5, so it's slightly thinner. This is the 0.7 example, which is a little bit thicker. And I really like this because I can change the colours from black, blue, green and red, and it's got a thicker barrel, so I find that more comfortable to use. But these are not too bad themselves anyway. They're not too thin. But I was finding that with the grids being quite small in the way I write, because I write in all capitals like every architect does, the grid spacing, I was finding it was too cumbersome. So I wanted something that was just a little bit thinner. Let me see if I can find, like, that's 0. Yeah, because I was using 0.7 for a while, because I got the 0.7s first. And then, do I have a lot of text? Yeah. Okay, so, just to show you, if I can find the thing again. So all this is 0.7 Fixatron, and then this is 0.5. So as you can see, I know they're different colours, but it looks very bulky. But although I'm looking at it through the camera, it doesn't look too bad. But I find this one's just a little bit easier to read with there being more line spacing. So yeah, let's go back to that one. So that was that, and then just an article that I found really interesting about the moving horse picture and how it inspired some of these really colourful columns. These sort of images, by the way, when there's like that and quite shiny, they're from my HP sprocket, which I don't always use, but I sometimes like to use, usually when I don't want to switch on the PC to print from my main printer. So yeah, empty pages again, and then Hobonichi day release, my dream shopping list, which has now changed. Again, I'll talk about more that towards the end. And then I actually did like a little travel sort of journal, because I was away that time and we're just having a nice time in Gork Valley, quite near to Buxton. So I was really impressed with how I did this map as well. It was the first time I've done anything like that, so it was quite nice. That was the place that we stayed in, just about some of the things, where we were wandering. Again, some more of the maps with the topography, and sort of some photos from there. Again, a nice place we found to eat. Highly recommend the Shaka Lounge if you're in Buxton, Sheffield, or I think there's another one in Harrogate. There's only 3 in the whole country, which is quite nice. Then we found some ruins at Irwood Hall, so a little bit about that because I found it very interesting. So that was the end of the month, and then I did an actual cover page that I just printed out and stuck on here, and then has put some stamping on the top to give it a bit of dimension, and some washi tape, and then a quote here as well that I really liked. And then the first thing I did in here was about an article for the Architects playlist, because I found it really interesting. So that was for the first few pages, but I really loved that. Then I was going to go in about brass hatching, because I did a brass hatching workshop. That's what I produced, and that's me. Look at me, I look so proud of my baby that I've produced, which is that. I look like such a proud mama. Then the next page is some stickers that I printed on this translucent sticker paper that I've got, which I kind of like, but I just wish it was matte. So if anyone knows of any matte translucent sticker paper I can get hold of that I can use for inkjets, please let me know. These lovely drawings are done by Untitled Paintings. I just put some ink on the back pages so it wasn't white. But yeah, I really like those, so that's why I decided to stick them in. Then talked about the Archer and Olive Halloween collection and my intentions, what I was going to do with it, and so on and so forth, which I have done, which you can see in the Halloween specials I did a few weeks ago. Then in here it's about the Derwent Drawing alternatives. I was looking, because I love this palette from the Derwent Drawing thing. I just wish it was in like a gouache setup, so I'm trying to find the gouache alternatives, whether it's mixing my own colours or ones that they've already got. Then this was vlogging tips and an idea I've got for a gouache set. I have filled in the other pages here, but it's about a hospital visit in my health thing, so I don't really want to share that. It's just a double page spread on about that. But anyway, moving on. Then I was going into the Halloween video plan. About different stuff that I was doing for that, and then the pages were empty for a while until we get back to here, which is when I travelled to High Wycombe, which again I was going to write about but not got around to. Then these are some stickers from Emma Carpenter, which I really like. These I really like her designs, but I think the way that she's printed these, I think they're a bit garish. I think she needed to, I don't know if it's the manufacturer or if it's the palette. I don't think it's actually what she's chosen, because when you watch it on her YouTube channel, they're much nicer colours, so I think it's actually the manufacturer that's, you know, oversaturated the colours, I think, a bit. And there's some just ornamental washes that I really like. And then we roll into October. I did a little bit of a cover page there, and then 13 Days Halloween was the original idea, but I ran out of time. This is some washi tape that I really like from the Archer and Olive set. And then my trickets from coming back from High Wycombe. Page empty. Then on about Hotel Chocolat in their Halloween collection that I did end up getting quite a bit. And then a recipe that I found for some fantastic hot chocolate. So yeah, that was good. Then some more washi tape and stickers and things that I really like. And then I discovered John Turner, who I absolutely love his illustrations. So this stuff that's stuck in here are packaging from what I ordered. I ordered some washi tape from him, this beautiful stamp I'll show you in a second, and bits and bobs, but his packaging was so well done that I just wanted to keep some of it, so I've stuck it in my Hobonichi, because this is like the tissue paper that he'd wrap stuff up in, which I just think is fantastic. And then a note from him. And then this is just a sample of all of his illustrations. Again, I was just going to write little notes about what I like about it, etc. And then these are the actual stamps that are from him as well. And if you can see, it's like a stamp edge, so perforated edge, so I really like that. And then that's usually the stencil that I use, but I did have the yellow Hobonichi one as well, but I've lost that, so I'm going to have to order another one. Then I haven't really done much because I've been so busy with work, and I've been traveling and having all sorts of issues with camera and this, that and the other, and it's just it's been a big headache. So I'm gonna end up probably using the rest because there's so much I do want to put in here. So I'll be using it as more of a memory keeping system from now on, only until probably beginning of December, because that's where we're at now. So I'll sort of be backfilling some of the pages. So yeah, we're in December now. The only thing I've done for December is stick these little stickers on, and then some for Christmas Day, because I know for Christmas Day I'm not going to journal, so I just found these really nice stickers that I liked. And then the back pages are pretty much as they are from when I set them up. I filled in my TBR a little bit, not used the timetable. The content creation log I have used, but I've only done it like very light-heartedly. But I think I need to go more in depth, so I'm gonna have to create a different log in what I'm gonna do for next year for planners. I haven't really filled in the favourites on my 100. That was the ink samples that I'd shown you. I've basically used this as a test page. Not used the gifts or the calendars. Those were the stickers that I liked and still really like. Addresses I've not filled in, or the personal notes. So that is how I have honestly used and filled in my Hobonichi. So yeah, there are days that are missing, but do you know what? I'm not mad about it, because I know from the bullet journal system that I was using before, I've already used this, got to be at least quadruple the amount of time than what I did with that. So I am actually using this more than any other notebook or planner I've ever had before. So it is a bit of a mix-mashy mix of planning, very little planning, commonplacing, sketchbooking, project ideas, just general notes. So it is a mix-mashy thing, but I really like it because it's all in one book. And with the index system, it is very easy to navigate. So I really like that. Now, my thoughts on Hobonichi themselves. I love this so much because I've used this without a cover, and it's just, you know, it's got thick from what it was, but that's not really an issue. It's still very lightweight and easy for me to throw in my bag, which is what I have been doing. Obviously without using any cover, not a plastic cover or anything. It has got a little bit grotty on the stickers, and on the back it's got a bit grotty as well, which annoys me a little bit, but I think I can wipe that off actually. Probably with just a little damp cloth, but not on the sticker because that'll mess with the ink. But it's held up pretty well so far. So I quite really like that. Now, in terms of the Tomorrow paper, I know they've just changed it for the new ones, which everyone's saying it's pretty much the same. I really like it because even when I've used ink on the paper and gouache, Karatake Waters, it's taken it perfectly fine. And now that I've got the Fixatrons, they work really well on it, and yeah, I have no complaints with the paper at all. The thing that I really love about this grid paper is that it doesn't just run off the whole page. Like, you've got this margin in this border. I really like that. So that to me is, it just makes it look sort of finished and complete. Whereas if it just ran straight off the edge of the paper, it'd just be like any other notebook to me. It wouldn't have a special feeling to it, you know? But that's just my aesthetic, graphic sort of thing. But yeah, I really, 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 really like the Hobonichi system. It's just with the AVACs, I'm not using the weeklies. So unless I can come up with a really clever idea to use those for, because that's a big chunk of the book that's not being used. So yeah, that's my only thing. Now, moving forward in what I'm going to use next, I have been thinking about using a Hobonichi day free, which is basically, it has the monthly spreads, and then it has, I think, 171 sheets where it is literally just the grid, but the grid is got the margin spaces that I like, i.e. the grid doesn't just run straight off the page like a normal notebook would, but it doesn't have the day in the week and things, because obviously it's day free, and I don't think it has a timetable either. Don't think it has the quotes, or maybe it does have the quotes. Not sure. But it's basically just the nice spread out of the grid that I like. But I kind of like having this here. Even though I don't necessarily use it as a day thing, I still like to have that reference point of this is that day. And yes, I know I could just stamp in my own or just write my own in, but I just like having it there. It just gives me that little bit of structure that I do think I need. So that's the only thing that's sort of making me hesitant to not use a day free. But if I do use a day free, I'll have to get 2 because there's only 171 pages in there. But it would also, if I did get a day free, it means that I wouldn't have to have empty pages, even though I can backfill the empty pages. So it would just continue. So that's kind of making me lean towards it. So we'll see what happens with that, because I haven't put any orders in for this yet at all. So yeah. I'm not sure if I'm going to have another AVAC. I'm definitely sticking with A5. I was toying with the idea of like the weeks or with an A6, but I was just using like bits of paper and I'm like, no, this isn't big enough for me. So I'm definitely sticking with an A5, but whether it'll be another AVAC or if it'll be a day free is a different matter. I'm not interested in the Hon at all, even though they've got some really lovely designs. I just think it's going to be too chunky because obviously it'll be the entire year in one book, whereas I quite like having this half a year. And plus it's always nice to get a new book throughout half of the year as if you're starting afresh, especially if there's things that aren't working that you wish they were. So yeah, what else do I want to say? Yeah, so the other thing that I'm toying with is I've been messing with this sort of traveller size planner. Well, not planner. I kind of want to use it as a commonplace as well. And this is just some cheap paper that I've got lying around the house. I think it's old typewriter paper actually. And I've just been playing around with some grids in how I would use it. Because I quite like the shape of it when it opens up. I like this squareness and and obviously you've got more space. If I were to use this as one day page rather than one day there and one day there, you've then got a little bit more room, which I think I might like. It's about the same height. It is the same height. So you're not losing any real estate up there. But yeah, I've just been toying around with some potential layouts. So I might actually make my own planner as well. Or perhaps that'll be something that I continue doing throughout the year. And then if you guys like it as well, I might get it manufactured and make them basically. So we'll see how that progresses as well. But I need a Hobonichi in the meantime anyway. I have been looking at like some other people's, like this Sterling Ink and other bits and bobs, and some dupes as well for the Hobonichi, but I think I just want to stick with the OG because I really like the paper, so why change that? The only thing, as I've said, that I might change is that it might be a day free, but that I will definitely do a video in January. It will be late January when I do a video about that because I'm away in Glasgow for the first pretty much majority of January, so it'll be quite late when I do a video, and plus I've not ordered anything yet, and I will be ordering directly from Japan. So I'll mention that in another Commonplace Archives video. So yeah, the other thing that I thought might be useful for you guys is I quite like using these circular stamps. I've only just started using circular stickers. I've only just started using them. I've been using my stencil for different things, but I think it'd be quite nice to use them. And what I've done is I've got a whole bunch of these Town Sticks 1 centimeter white stickers that I got from Amazon for the top of my paint tubes. And I literally got so many of these, and I thought instead of me buying some ready coloured stamps, why not just use these? And then all I've done is I've got some Ferris wheel press ink, is I've just used them to colour in the dots. So obviously I can use pretty much any colour I want, because you'll be able to use paint on these, acrylic ink, you basically use what you've already got. So I thought that was a nice little tip for you guys if you wanted to do that, rather than buying more stickers just because of the colours. So yeah, that is my honest use of my Hobonichi and my thoughts about Hobonichi and what I'm intending to do for the coming year. As always with my videos, let me know what you guys think. Are you enjoying these Commonplace videos on my channel? I know I've sort of flip-flopped between sort of planning and then art stuff and then unboxings and this, that and the other. But hopefully this will be a common thread throughout my channel, if you guys really like it. As well as obviously gouache videos and printmaking and all the other stuff that I do as well. Just to let you know, this is actually the first time I am filming at night time. So that's probably all the shadows that I've got. Because I've tried using the lamps that I've got. I don't have any filming lights at all. I was using the lamps that I've got, but it looked very yellow. So now I'm using the main light, which is like a super bright light for artists. And the colour looks really nice, that I can see on the camera, so nice. But obviously there's this shadow, because it is the main light that's in the ceiling. So you can sort of like see me moving around a little bit in my hands. So let me know if you guys are okay with this, because in terms of the colour, I really like it. And then also it gives me longer to film, especially in these winter months, because with me working, I can't film like the first half of the day. It has to be in the afternoon, and that's when the light's fading, and then that's when I get really grainy images, which drives my editing brain nuts. So if you don't mind these little bits of shadows, might be an idea if I sit still. I'm on a swivel chair at the moment, so that's why I'm like back and forth. So if you don't mind that, then, you know, give me a thumbs up in the comments to let me know that you don't mind that, which means I can then film for longer and hopefully create more content. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.